Hello everybody, welcome to tonight's reading. I hope you all had a beautiful day. I had a pretty busy one. so I wasn't able to do a YouTube last night as it's tax season and we had stuff to catch up on. So anyways, today we are going to be doing a twin flame collective reading as usual. And I have all my decks out here. What I have been channeling is a extremely fluctuating masculine energy between confidence to despair to anxiety to God, just anything you can imagine. This poor divine masculine is going through such an immense, intense ego death here that it's really, really difficult for him to stabilize in any type of situation. And I do feel like this is leading him into another storm, so to speak, so that he can regain control of his life. I feel like this masculine really has kind of handed over the control of his life to external circumstances. And this is all happening for him in order to realize how much power he actually does have to create the life that he desires. I feel like he feels powerless is basically what I'm getting. So this is the energy that I want to look deeper into and see what we can figure out. As I shuffle the cards, I'll be using my Witch's Tarot again today and possibly the Gilded Tarot Royale as well. I'm kind of being pulled to both decks here, so potentially there could be messages from both. As I shuffle the cards, you can set your own intentions for this reading, either in the comments out loud or in your mind, however you feel good doing it. I'm going to try to get a couple of cards here before we start reading into the energy. So the first card we have is the Three of Swords, which is the Heartbreak card in the upright position. So this divine masculine has definitely been hurt by love before. There is a very strong sense of his inner child, a wounded inner child, and I'm sensing like high school aged child here, protecting his heart, because I feel like his first experience with heartbreak definitely must have occurred around his high school years. And I feel like it was probably his first, like long-term, really girlfriend type relationship. And I feel like there was some sort of a fallout. When I'm tapping into this energy, I feel like this divine masculine either said something or expressed something in a way to other third parties that possibly caused this feminine energy, who was his ex-high school girlfriend, to really lose trust in him, to lose faith that he was a trustworthy person, and as a result end the relationship. And I feel that this divine masculine truly did care very deeply about this high school sweetheart of his. I feel like he thought that this would be the end-all relationship for him, so he was really thinking long-term. But I do get a strong sense of mental and emotional immaturity here that led him to say something that resulted in the dissolution of this relationship. So I do get the sense that this masculine tried to apologize, and I'm getting like a public apology type energy. So he could have done or said something to atone for whatever it was that he said publicly. And it still ended in rejection by this other feminine energy, by his then girlfriend, which led him to fear actually falling in love. It led him to fear really being emotionally invested in a person, in a relationship. When I'm tapping into this energy, I really feel like that's the same inner child. That's the same experience from which his inner child is acting to protect his heart when it comes to his twin flame journey. So this heartbreak card, and especially with this, they're actually images of fairies, but for whatever reason, I'm actually seeing bees in my third eye, like, you know, flying towards the heart, trying to pollinate it from these flowers down here. So, what I'm actually feeling like is that this divine feminine's energy is kind of acting like that bee, trying to pollinate his heart into springtime growth again, into opening up like a blossoming flower to allow love in again, to remove the barrier that this inner child has brought up within him, to take the walls of the fortress down, is what I just heard Spirit say. So basically, this divine feminine's energy is really working to break the walls of this fortress down. And it's doing that by getting this masculine back in touch with his emotional side. Now, consciously, I think this masculine thinks he is in touch with his emotional side, but he's really not privy to how many emotional barriers he's put up around his heart. This King of Swords card was right under the Three of Swords card. This is extremely synchronistic, you guys, because the King of Swords is somebody who really has his guard up. He isn't somebody who will open up easily. He isn't somebody who will let anyone in easily. And he's not very trusting. So the way that this divine masculine presents in the physical 3D world is exactly like this King of Swords. But I feel like through a series of storms, or tower moments as we call them, that cycle in this masculine's life is really ending. We have the Death card here. And this is a very intense card. If you look at the redness of the background, the fire behind this horseman's head, if you look at, you know, pretty much just the energy of this card, it's pretty darn intense. So this is truly what I feel like the ego death experience has been like for this divine masculine. And it's the purpose of it is really to not only get him back in touch with his emotional side, but to rediscover the power that he actually has over his life. We have the Queen of Swords card here. So this energy is actually mirrored between the two counterparts. We have the King of Swords and the Queen of Swords that came out in, you know, the same card pull here. So right now, the divine feminine is also somewhat mirroring this divine masculine's energy. And her inner child is also acting up to protect her heart from being hurt again. This divine feminine, I really feel like, as far as emotions are concerned, like her own emotional investment to the divine masculine, I feel like she does not want to make it obvious. Because of the fact that there really is a strong left out in the cold rejection energy in the past that this feminine is having such a hard time moving forward from. So right now, both parties are really being guided to reconnect with their inner selves. This is the Four of Swords card. They really need to connect with their own inner strength, their own inner energies, to manifest the powers that be within them in order to bring about communication. Notice that four cards out of the 6 that were pulled are all from the Swords suit. You have the Three of Swords, the Heartbreak card. You have the King of Swords. you have the Four of Swords, and you have the Queen of Swords. So Swords is really like it's a masculine energy. It is an energy of communication, and it can also, you know, just symbolize something that is kind of harsh and cutting. So the energy that I'm getting here is that this divine masculine's words towards the feminine may have been pretty harsh and cutting, and it wouldn't surprise me if the masculine at times perceived this feminine to respond to him that way. But as I'm tapping into both counterparts' energies, it really feels like that it was obvious whenever and if ever this feminine did respond this way, it was as a result of her reaction to the way that her masculine responded to her, or the way that he spoke to her in certain instances. So she would simply mirror that back to him. I don't feel like this was something that the feminine ever preemptively did. And I don't feel like the masculine did this to hurt the feminine, at least not initially. I do feel like it was a lot of anxiety within the masculine talking, because even in the very beginning stages of this connection, from what I can sense, it was extremely intense. Both parties to some level knew that union was for them. They knew that they had a connection that would go way beyond any sort of just acquaintanceship or friendship. This connection, they both could tell from the beginning that there was something about it that would be long lasting, and that had a meant to be energy to it, that has a meant to be energy to it. The fact that we got this Four of Wands union card so early on in the beginning of this reading really is confirmation that this is true twin flame energy, and that these counterparts are actually meant to be in union. So energy at the bottom of the deck is the Page of Cups, you guys. This divine masculine is still working a lot on maturing emotionally and mentally. I do feel like that's something that he still has quite a bit to work on. But the fact that this is the Page of Cups, and look at the amount of water that this page is surrounded with, I'm really picking up that energy that this masculine is really getting deeper in touch with his emotional side here, and that he is opening up way more than he ever intended or expected to after the experiences of his past. So synchronistic, you guys. Inner strength is exactly what we've been talking about from the beginning of this reading. I just heard Spirit say, tap in deeper. So both of these counterparts are really being guided to tap in deeper to their inner strength. I heard passion. So a Spirit is saying here that these counterparts have an intense passion for each other. They have an intense longing and desire to be in union. They are literally pulling each other in like magnets. They are magnetic for each other, no matter what they do. And even in the past, when the masculine was running, the feminine was still magnetic for him, because as I'm tapping into this energy, I can feel that anytime this masculine was away from the feminine, like for whatever reason, if she left the room, or if there was any kind of distance between them, even for a few moments, it would make him restless. And this masculine didn't know why he was feeling this way. I can really tell, like, as I'm reading this past energy here, that he was very confused about why on earth he had this desire to continuously follow this feminine, spy on her. You know, and I don't mean that in a negative way, but just he was so curious to see every move she was making, everything that she was doing, that, you know, I get this image in my third eye of him kind of like hiding behind walls just to watch her walk and just to do things. And the feminine, I do believe, was aware of this, because I'm kind of getting that energy of her enjoying that attention from the masculine and not letting him know that she is aware of what he's doing. So the masculine may not have known that the feminine was well aware of him kind of watching her from a distance. And I feel like that's something that even after their 3D physical disconnect happened, the masculine was still watching this feminine from a distance, like through social media, potentially through mutual friends, you know, just kind of getting updates on her life in whatever ways he could. But at the same time, his 3D ego self was shutting off this connection to where he was not willing to acknowledge the feelings that he had for this feminine. He was really just saying, no, it was nothing. You know, like that's the energy that I'm getting when inside he was aching and longing to be with her. So that 3D ego mask he was wearing, that emotionally shut off self, is what this masculine is walking away from. I just heard walking away from victim mentality. So this masculine is really learning through a series of tower moments and ego death experiences that he is not the victim of his life. He has full potential and power to be the creator of his life. So this Eight of Cups here is really like, this is so different from any other Eight of Cups in any other tarot deck, in that all these cups are still upright. They're not like, you know, fallen over or shattered like they are typically depicted. They're still upright over here, but this masculine is choosing to walk away from that towards a bright and starry horizon over here. You know, rather than this closed off beachy section here, he's choosing to go towards water. He's choosing to go towards emotional depth now. Like that is the direction that he's facing. And I do get that energy that even if he didn't choose that, the universe would push him in that direction. Like his tower moments and those stormy experiences would all be pushing him further and further in that direction, even if he didn't consciously choose it. So what's coming, you guys? We have the Chariot card, and it was in the upright position. I just held it up wrong. We have the Chariot here, so something is coming. Something is definitely coming that I just heard Spirit say beneficial to the connection. At the bottom of the deck, we have the Page of Wands here. There's going to be some passionate energy coming towards these counterparts in the future. They both do mirror and sense each other in the 5D quite deeply. So I do get the sense that somewhere within himself, this masculine is aware that his feminine is missing him and desiring him equally. But his 3D ego mind often does not allow him to believe what his intuition feels. However, with these series of tower moments, that's all changing. We have the Wheel of the Year here, the Wheel of Fortune type card. So now things are shifting, timelines are shifting here. And this is so significant, you guys, because now this masculine cannot avoid this communication. He's feeling such intense passion and restlessness for his divine feminine solely and particularly, that even he is not even looking for another outlet for this desire. He's not even engaging in self-pleasure, so to speak, as an outlet for this desire. It is literally his divine feminine that he's longing for. So he is, I just heard Spirit say avoiding. So he is avoiding even any kind of sensual stimuli around him in his environment, in his mind. He's avoiding those thoughts because he does not want any other form of release except with his divine feminine. This is strongly the energy that I'm getting here. Page of Cups showed up again at the bottom of the deck. So this divine masculine is feeling very sentimental. Sentimental is what I'm getting here. He's reminiscing a lot on the past. He's reminiscing greatly on the times that he spent in the 3D physical with his feminine before the disconnect happened. And he's really, I just heard Spirit say a pile of guilt. So he's really feeling like a pile of guilt here, you know, for the decisions that he made in the past. And I just heard a divine masculine step in to say, I pay for those every day. So he must be feeling like he is reaping the fruits of his bad decision making daily. That's the energy that I'm getting here. We have the King of Wands, you guys. It doesn't get more fiery, passionate than this. So from the Page of Wands, you know, the Page is the messenger, still, you know, not quite as mature, not quite as in emperor mode here. But now we have this divine masculine stepping into King of Wands energy, which is extremely mature and passionate. This is what he is headed towards. And this is daily, you know, as he's shedding his old skin, what he's stepping into. We have the Ace of Swords. There is so many beautiful new beginnings here. And I just heard Spirit say, cut through the bounds. And by bounds, what I'm seeing in my third eye is anything that can tie a person up. So this divine masculine is cutting through the bounds of his own limiting belief system. He is cutting through the bounds of his own low vibrational energy and the low vibrational energy of his 3D physical circumstances, so he can have a new beginning with his feminine. And I am feeling very strong, intense sacral chakra energy here. So as I've been saying throughout this reading, this is going to be an extremely passionate connection that you know, is really, it's so heavily rooted in union on all levels. So physical, mental, emotional, spiritual, union on all levels. The fact that the Ace of Wands card just flew out in the upright position is really highlighting the sensual energy that's going on here. And I'm really being drawn to the butterfly that is flying towards this wand. And this is speaking heavily to the transformation that's happening in this connection. That these divine counterparts are actually becoming more and more attuned to the desire that they feel with each other. I heard tantric. So this union will heavily resemble a tantric union. As I said, even before this card flew out, it's going to be union on all levels. These counterparts, even in physical separation, are still physically connected through the energies that they exchange in the 5D. So they can feel each other's physical sensations as well as their emotional states, is what I'm saying, is what I'm getting energetically. Hermit mode in the sideways position. So this divine masculine is slowly going to start coming out of hermit mode here, which it feels like he's been in for some time. I just heard Spirit say unbearable. So I feel like his 3D physical circumstances and the separation he's been experiencing from his feminine has truly just been unbearable for this masculine. And he is, as he comes out of hermit mode in inner energetic union, he's going to find his divine feminine in front of him. I just heard Spirit say your twin flame is in front of you. So literally they are so close. They are almost in front of each other. Oh my gosh, you guys. The victory card, the 6 of Wands. Yes, this divine masculine will have victory over his victim mentality. He is actively and very surely moving forward here. And the fact that this energy, as I said in the beginning, was so fluctuating, this is so synchronistic, because as inner energetic union is happening, while he is in this hermit mode that he's slowly coming out of, You know, hermit mode kind of causes you to pull yourself back, kind of like a turtle puts itself in its shell. And at the same time, he's feeling this fiery passion, this fiery energy that is forcing him to connect with his feminine, even though he's trying to shut those thoughts out. So this is where that frustration that I was speaking of is coming from. Like, you know, he feels all of these polar opposite emotions, his desires for one thing versus what he's energetically being pulled towards in another direction, and then his ego mind pulling him in another direction, and him being unable to, you know, kind of figure out how to create this forward motion. It's really creating like inner turmoil within this masculine. Yeah. I'm dying to share my cup of love with you, is what I just heard Spirit say. So literally this divine masculine is now at this point where he just can't take it anymore. Like, he has to interact with his feminine and share his cup of love with her, that he just can't hold it in anymore. He's also becoming quite possessive of the feminine, because as these intimate desires and thoughts, this passion is arising within him. I just heard Spirit say driving himself crazy. So this divine masculine is at the same time thinking about that, well, my feminine also must have these desires and needs, but does she still want me? Or is somebody else in the picture? So internally, another cause for these you know, strongly fluctuating emotions is a sense of possessiveness over his feminine, that I wish I had a right to tell you that you're mine, so that I don't have to worry about you going off somewhere else. Like, this is something that's really eating at him. And it's something that really brings him to a sense of despair in the physical 3D. Like, I can actually physically sense crying. So as I'm tapping into this divine masculine's energy, I do feel like he cries quite a bit whenever he thinks of his feminine. And energy at the bottom of the deck is the Four of Pentacles, which is also the possessiveness card. So very synchronistic here. Yeah, Five of Cups. He is lamenting about the past. He's literally sitting there, just like Spirit said earlier, pile of guilt. You know, he's sitting around these memories of these toppled over cups here, and just thinking back to every decision that he ever made. I just heard a divine masculine say, I was a fool. So he's really just kind of coming down hard on himself for all the decisions he made in the past that led him to where he is now. And the Queen of Cups just came out here. So this is also what the divine feminine is transforming into. We see that the divine masculine was transforming from the guarded King of Swords to the King of Wands. And now the divine feminine is transforming into this Queen of Cups. So she's also, you know, kind of putting her inner child at ease day by day and stepping into her emotional side. And I just heard Spirit say it is safe to love. So this divine feminine is actively working on telling herself that it is safe to love. The Moon. Yeah, as they go through these cycles, there is definitely a lot of anxiety, because I just heard Spirit say unknown. So as the divine masculine is going through his storms and tower moments, the divine feminine feels anxious because she can't quite see every step of her masculine's journey. And vice versa is also true, that as this masculine is going through his storms, he's not as intuitively tuned into what might be going on with his divine feminine, and this is also bringing him anxiety. And there's a lot that has yet to be revealed in this connection, which will be revealed. But right now is a time for these counterparts to really learn how to lean into the unknown. And while doing that, embracing their shadows and finding their power, their inner strength that they never knew they had. This is very synchronistic with the Strength card and what I was speaking on even before that card came out earlier in the reading. So both counterparts are really learning how to step into their power and find stability, groundedness in the unknown. This is making them, like the light at the end of the tunnel for each other. This is really a powerful message, you guys. And while they're learning how to do that, they're fighting so many internal battles. They're fighting their ego mind. They're fighting negative thinking. They're fighting fears, about what might be going on with their counterpart, because I can't tell what's happening in your life and it's, kind of freaking me out. Like, I want to know what's going on with you, but I can't see it. And this is causing so much turmoil within them. I just heard Spirit say explosion. So yeah, it really may feel like an explosion of emotions that from time to time arise within them. So this is not an easy journey by any means, but it's definitely, something that these counterparts are growing as a result of. So the Five of Pentacles came up here in the upright position. There is a past and present energy to this card. I had said earlier that there was a strong left out in the cold energy, that these counterparts experienced in the past. And this is like in the present energy that I pick up from this is more from the masculine, that he is feeling left out in the cold and not knowing how to, I heard Spirit say, find his way back home through the dark. So this divine masculine really does feel like he's navigating through the dark because he is so intuitively blocked at times, and because he has so many fears and he doesn't clear his energy enough to tune into his intuition, which is why this hermit mode is so important for these counterparts, because they really need to be able to, learn how to tune into their intuition without relying on outside energetic support, knowing all the time. Like, they can't know all the time what's happening, is basically what Spirit is trying to say. So they have to learn how to find comfort in the unknown, how to ground themselves even through the unknown. But everything is falling into place, you guys. We have the Eight of Wands card here. Like, the struggle is almost over, is what I just heard Spirit say. Karmic debts are really being cleared out here. The scales of justice are being balanced, is what I just heard Spirit say. So this connection is restabilizing. It is regaining its balance, which is actually leading the counterparts right back into each other's arms, right back towards union. This is exactly where they are headed. Oh my goodness, yes. What have I been saying throughout this entire thing, right? Embracing their shadows, embracing the darkness and the unknown. That's exactly the energy that's with this card. This is what this is teaching them. And once they learn how to do that, the confidence to communicate is what I just heard Spirit say. So this is all for the sake of building up the confidence to communicate, not just in the masculine, but in the feminine too, because her inner child is also guarding her heart, that, I felt left out in the cold by my masculine. He was really kind of like, rude and dismissive of me in the past, is really the energy that I'm getting from this feminine. And I feel that the masculine would agree. As I tap into his energy, I do feel like he realizes that. And that is a huge part of what he feels so guilty about. So once those things are overcome, the confidence to communicate is going to enter the picture here. And I do feel like the confidence and lack of having the right words is what was keeping the communication from happening in the past and even, in the present, but that's all changing as we speak. So communication is going to come in, and it's going to come in pretty quickly. This is the fastest moving card in any tarot deck. At bottom of the deck energy, you guys, the Ten of Pentacles. This is equivalent to the 10 of Cups card, but with the bonus of financial stability added. So this connection really does have a very good future. Yeah, Page of Swords, this is current energy. The divine masculine is dying to communicate, but he doesn't have that confidence because he also realizes that he doesn't have the same level of emotional maturity as the feminine does. And this was definitely a point of contention in their connection in the past. I can feel that. So right now he's in the Page of Swords, but he is about to become the Knight of Swords here very, very soon, very near future. Pretty much as we speak. Such amazing energy, you guys. The Star card. A new beginning is on the horizon, a balanced connection. Both parties pouring into each other equally. This is what this connection is predicted to look like. So the future of this connection, the stability of this connection, the ability to last long term in this connection looks very extremely good for these counterparts. Bottom of the deck energy, 6 of Cups. This is what we call the soulmate card in traditional tarot. So I feel like if the divine masculine is not at this point aware that he is a twin flame and this is his divine feminine counterpart, that he really feels like she's a soulmate. But actually when I'm tapping into his energy, I feel more than just soulmate energy within him. I feel like he really feels as though this feminine is a part of his soul, as in he actually literally is connected to her through her soul. So he actually has the concept of twin flame down in his mind, but I just feel like he doesn't necessarily understand the term twin flame, so he doesn't use that. He may use soulmate, but he really feels like she is a part of him, and he feels that soul deep, if that makes sense. Wow, I really like this reading, you guys. That was amazing energy. And the fact that we got the 4 of Wands card so early on, that was beyond amazing. I'm going to take it to the Moonology deck really quick here because we are entering another lunar cycle. So what energies will this lunar cycle, the new moon in Libra, have for this connection? Before I could even finish asking, prosperity lies ahead. But did I say, you guys, we had the 10 of Pentacles card. Oops, I shuffled it, so I guess that card isn't there. But you probably remember the 10 of Pentacles at the bottom of the deck, right? Prosperity lies ahead. This connection, the future of this connection is looking very, very bright, very, very good here. Anything else? What will this new moon in Libra bring? Work through your fears. So this is going to, I heard Spirit say release. This is going to really help the counterparts, especially the divine masculine, release his negative thinking patterns and fears and move toward more confidence in being able to communicate with his feminine. Any other messages? Have faith in your dreams. So I just heard Spirit say have faith through the darkness. So I really feel like that is what this card is referring to, that as we spoke on earlier, you're not going to be able to see every aspect of your counterpart's journey. You're not going to be able to see them every step of the way. As the divine masculine counterpart goes through the storms and becomes intuitively blocked, he may not be able to tap into the feminine's energy. So the reason for that is because the universe is trying to teach him to build his own shelter rather than relying on the feminine's energy just to serve as his shelter all the time. I just heard a divine masculine say that your energy is my happy place. So thoughts of his feminine, reminiscing about past times and just fantasizing about her is really his safe space. You know, that's where he goes when life gets rough. But I feel like that's just where he is all the time, whether life is rough or not. Like, he lives in his thoughts of his feminine. So these experiences are really allowing him to get in touch with those shadows of his deep cellular healing. Exactly. It's allowing him to heal those inner child wounds, as we spoke about in the beginning, so that he can reconnect with his inner strength and actually manifest his divine feminine's physical company back into his life in the 3D physical. He is being activated. He's being asked to trust where he's being led through this darkness. And how synchronistic is that we actually have darkness and night skies up here. So he is being led through that. Messengers bringing harmony and balance. Yes. All of these storms are for the purpose of bringing harmony and balance back into this masculine's life and bringing him back into his control. It's to give him perspective. It's to give him perspective that, you know, the guilt that he harbors for what happened in the past is so distant now. But his life will be dark like a void without his feminine. He's realizing this every single day. So he's being given that perspective so he can gain the confidence to communicate. Birthing expression. You could not get more synchronistic than this, you guys. Yes, expression is being birthed in this connection through giving the masculine the confidence to communicate. Energy at the bottom of the deck, stay grounded. Could not get more synchronistic. I love, love, love this reading, you guys. So I am going to close this reading out here. I will channel a few love messages from the masculine to the feminine and then vice versa. We'll start with the masculine. I'll just take a couple cards. There we go. I love this, the first one that I saw. I am becoming more spiritual because of you. So this masculine is already learning to tune into his spiritual side as a result of his desire and love for the feminine. I love you so much I kept it from you. So synchronistic that he didn't admit that to her. He was just watching her from a distance all the time. He wants to have a family with this feminine. No doubt about it. I visualize a future and a family with you is what I just heard a masculine step in to say. I will listen to you from now on. So he acknowledges that, you know, the divine feminine has valid points about how they can make their connection work, and the fact that he needs to step out of that ego, that 3D mask he's so used to wearing. And now I will channel a divine feminine higher self-love message here. If I can get access to my deck, it's kind of like jammed under my tripod here. Did not plan this well before I started. But we'll see. Okay. Can I get a card, Spirit, for a higher self-love message? I surge on the uprising wave of love, and this is the number 5 card, you guys. Angel number 555 is all about big changes, big positive changes lying up ahead. So this is extremely synchronistic, as we spoke about. All of these tower moments are for the sake of this big change. And big changes are coming because communication is coming. My life can be summed up in 3 accounts. I was raw, I was cooked, and I was burned. Rumi. I surge on the uprising wave of love. No gravity can stop me from rising. The moon pulls the tide of life toward her, and my soul in oneness with all of life answers her call. A wave of love consumes me, and upwards I fly, flying through water to greet her shining body. Led by my heart, my wits are addled, and my mind becomes a blurry mess. And so I feel instead, feel the truth of her love and the divine reflection she shines back at me from her radiant heart. This is extremely synchronistic. through these tower moments, these counterparts are really rising, and they are rising on exactly that, the uprising wave of love. That was an extremely beautiful and very synchronistic message with the energy we channeled today. I hope you guys enjoyed this reading. And if you are resonating with these messages and you feel like you could use a tool to help you ground yourself through these series of tower moments that you are facing right now, through this process of ego death that is absolutely not easy, and you need something to help you stay in alignment with the vibration of union with your divine counterpart, you need something to help you manifest this union into your physical 3D reality, even if it's already there so intensely in the 5D. If you need additional tools for that, I have created a twin flame manifestation affirmations document that you can purchase from me through my Instagram account. I will leave my Instagram handle in the video description box below. I so highly recommend this, you guys. If you stop by my profile, click on the highlight titled affirmations. You can read reviews from my past clients as well as my current clients there, and you can see the results they have seen with the use of this document. So if you are interested in that, I know it can really bring value to the table. It has mentoring tips and tricks in there for how to make the affirmations most effective for you. It talks about mental diet and the importance of alignment, vibration, all of those things that I used to give my coaching clients in the past. You can purchase that from me from my Instagram. So I will leave my Instagram handle in the video description box, and you can just stop by there. I accept PayPal, Venmo, and Cash App. My IDs are all in my bio, except my Venmo one didn't fit in there, so you can DM me asking for my Venmo ID if you prefer to use that. But my Cash App ID and PayPal link are all in my bio. My only request is if you do use PayPal, please send as friends and family only. That will allow the payment to not go into pending, and that way I could also receive the full amount. So all you have to do is DM me a screenshot of your proof of payment. The price is $150, and you are going to have this document forever. And also with the screenshot, send me the email that you want it sent to, and I will get it to you. And like I said, it's something you're going to have forever. And so many people have really seen a difference with it. These are very powerful affirmations, you guys, that I myself created. And they've been in use for almost a decade, like over 8 years is how long they've been in use. So I highly, highly recommend them. I also run many mini reading specials on my Instagram daily throughout the week, except on Sundays. So if you would like to experience a personal reading from me, Instagram would be the place to do it. So I really, really hope that I get to see you all there. And I really do highly recommend those affirmations, you guys, because people have really seen results with them. And I hope that you can take advantage of that tool and experience that yourself, help in aligning your vibration, help in actually manifesting what you're trying to get, all of those things. So yeah, just hop on down to the video description box for my Instagram handle. And also, if you would like for me to channel more specific messages for you and your situation, please don't forget to like these videos and subscribe. That allows me to pick up on your energy much easier. All right, guys, you have a beautiful night and take care.